What's going on, y'all? It is Cop Pizzle. Going to be a lengthy video here, but before we do, let's open it up with a prayer. Lord, hallowed be thy name. May our feet be swift. May our woos be mighty. May our balls be plentiful. And Lord, I want to thank you for that waitress in St. Paul, Minnesota. You know who she is. She kept calling your name. And God, please take care of the Giants. Okay, that's it. So, this is going to be a lengthy video. So get your favorite beverage, maybe get you some popcorn, sit down, relax, and let's talk some New York Giants football. And let's. I, maybe I'm biased, but you know I'm going to give you guys a perspective that I don't think any other Giants content creator can give you. Okay, I'm going to open myself to you guys. Often you guys get pizzle, but you don't ever really get the guy who is, that is playing pizzle. Okay, and tonight you're going to get that. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you because I'm going to give you the legitimate person here who is the fan, and they're doing the same. But nevertheless, I see a lot of Giant fans and content creators alike really excited about what's going on with the Giants right now. They're excited about the changes. They're excited about what's happening. And I have to be honest, I'm optimistic as well, right? Eventually things have to get turned around at some point. And I don't know if it's age or wisdom or what it is that changes a man, but I'm a little bit hesitant right now on a few things. And I think it's because of what happened to the previous regime with Judge and Gettleman. Because the way that Giant fans feel right now is the same way I felt just a couple or a few years ago. Those guys, I really bought into what they were saying and what they were selling. And it left me heartbroken as a fan. And I know there's a lot of guys out there that kind of enjoyed it because they got to say I told you so, but when you're just immediately a fan, uh that shit doesn't matter. I never signed up or joined YouTube to prove to strangers that I was right about something. I just joined YouTube because I wanted to root on the Giants. And this whole way that YouTube has transitioned to this, I just want to show people that I'm right, is super fucking weird. But that's for a different discussion. Um, and I get a lot of heat from a couple geeks like Mike Too Nice and the very large, the very wide Bobby Skinner. And I know some of you guys like those guys. Have at it if you do. Uh, but I get a lot of heat because of the liking that I had for Dave Gettleman. And I don't know if it's age or wisdom or what it is that happens to a man that makes him the way he is. But guys, for me, at one time growing up, I sincerely never thought that the Giants were ever going to win a championship again. I just them making the Super Bowl, was good enough for Pizzle. When they played the Ravens in Super Bowl 35, when they played that game, that was just enough that they made it to the big stage. I'd given up the idea because of how the '90s went, and I'm not talking about the early '90s, but the full '90s. I just kind of gave up on the idea. I know that that's not a 60-minute mindset, but I was a young man trying to figure out how to be a 60-minute man, okay? So, when the Giants finally accomplished that, and they did it multiple times, and to know that Dave Gettleman was a part of that, I'm going to take a liking to anybody that was part of the organization during that time, including like Eli Manning. And I'm going to defend those guys because they gave me uh, the fan, something that I can always appreciate. And I feel like that's lost on a lot of fans now and content creators. And I'm not saying that that Dave Gettleman shouldn't have been, let relieved or retired or whatever, however you want to say it. Because absolutely, sure he should have, but beating me up for just being supportive of somebody who's done so much for us previously, you know, hey, if you want to turn your back on somebody and stab somebody in the back that's done something good for you, have at it. And all these people, can sit back and tell you how bad Dave Gettleman's fucked up the cap situation, but for every bad that he's done, he's also done a lot of good. And there's still players on this roster that you can say that, yeah, that's somebody that Dave Gettleman helped build this current Giants team up with. So I'm sorry, but I'm loyal to people who do great things for me and help me and make me a happy person. And so in my book, a lot of those guys can never do wrong. They can never do wrong. Just being part of a championship or helping put a championship team together, they can never be wrong. Okay? So if you want to be right in your own little world at your mom's house, have at it. Fine. So at the end of the season, some of you guys may have saw it, some of you guys maybe appreciated, but I came out and said, look, firing the coach, letting go the general manager for the Giants, it's not enough. That the Giants needed to completely remodel the place, right? I mean, even change the field. I mean, just a complete remodel. And a lot of that was an attack on the ownership, right? Mara, Tish, and but mostly Mara, because I think he's the one that's more hands-on in the situation, and that he needed to relinquish control and let somebody else have a say in a lot of things. And if you think about life in general, right? I mean, imagine being the man of a household. You're married to a lady or whoever, and let's say you guys love each other, but financially you can't come to terms with a lot of things, and your car is about to get repoed, and your house is about to be foreclosed because you as a couple just you love each other, but you can't manage money correctly. And then you decide, she decides like, hey, let's let this guy live with us and he'll just manage our funds. As the man of the house, you probably won't accept that because you don't want to relinquish control. But the reality is it actually might be a better thing. And so what Mara has done in what looks to be relinquishing control and allowing Joe Shane to let's get rid of the director of college scouting. Let's completely change this overhaul and bring in new people. Let some of this the old regime kind of go, and let's bring in a whole new scheme, a whole new philosophy of style of people. It has to be hard on Mara, but as a fan, I appreciate him trying. I appreciate him attempting to make things right for the New York Football Giants. And even if it goes wrong, you know, I, and here's the thing, like as a fan, I can be mad at Mara, but I can't help but to love him and his family because they've given his family has provided us the New York Football Giants. and it's an organization that many of us love and cherish. And as you can see, I mean, we dedicate wall space to them, and and it's just great. Um, it's just great to see him at least try to give it up. And so I know there's a lot of content creators and a lot of fans out there that throw a lot of hate at him and a lot of shade, but I respect him right now more than I ever have, because I know this time has got to be hard on him. The Giants are his baby, and he's probably relinquished a lot of control, if not all control. And so I'm just thankful that he's attempting to ride the ship here, to make things right. So I won't mock him. I won't say anything bad about him. I won't make fun of him like so many have done before. Like I just refuse to do it because I appreciate him trying to make the Giants right again. Um, as for the team, I know that I've said what I've said already about some certain things, and I've taken some heat about you know Thibodeau and what I've said about that. And there's a couple layers to that. and and one of them is not necessarily the player himself. I'm happy about the player. The player could absolutely help us. If he's on his game, absolutely he can help us. But one of the things that I'm concerned with about the player is there were three instances here recently, in recent years, where Giant fans have, in some ways, I don't know if they've necessarily destroyed the player, but they've contributed to what I think was the player's downfall. Okay. There's three players. Two of them are currently on the roster. We'll start with OBJ. When OBJ got here, ton of hype, right? Ton. And OBJ was a good collegiate player. Drafted high by the Giants. You know, first showed up, he was banged up, so there's a delay in his debut. But what happened when OBJ hit the field? He did some great things. And what did Giant fans do? And then I'm guilty of as well. Like, I'm guilty of it. I'm eating my crow on this. We called him the best receiver in the league. We said it for sure he's top three receiver in the league. We debated with Cowboy fans and Eagle fans and Washington fans. We told everybody that would listen that he's one of the best receivers in the league. And the truth is, I don't think that was reality. But we hyped him up and made him bigger than what he really was. And ultimately, it didn't work out. And I know some of you are still salty about that, but the reality is that if we would have just chilled as fans, maybe some of the antics wouldn't have been so bad. Maybe he isn't hitting the net. Maybe he isn't going on ESPN and dogging out Eli. Maybe those things, maybe the boat trip thing isn't happening. I don't know, but you could argue that the fans blowing him up higher than what he should have been had to contribute to that. The second player is Saquon Barkley. And this isn't in order, but the second player is Saquon. We've told we told people for years, for the last couple years when Saquon was healthy, that he was the best running back in the league. And we told everybody how special he is, how he's a generational talent, right? And it's actually embarrassing that we did that. And look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, I'm not going to be a liar like some of these other guys and tell you, oh God, I hated the pick when Dave Gettleman did that, which is the biggest lie that any content creator could ever fucking tell you. And it bothers me so bad that you guys, as the consumers, allow people to get away with that bullshit, because every Giants fan and their mother damn near all wanted Saquon Barkley. Sure, there was some. I'm not here to debate it, but like the point is we were in on it. We were, yeah, bring it on. We told everybody this generational talent. We put all this crazy ass pressure on Saquon, and yeah, he did some special. He's done some special things at times, but the reality is we've asked him to be bigger than he's bigger than he really is. And we've hyped him up to these weird ass standards that it's not fair for him to even try to meet. Yeah, he seems like a great person and a great dude and all these things, but Giant fans have just made him out to be something that he's simply not. Generational talent is fucking Deion Sanders. It's fucking Bo Jackson. It's Shohei Ohtani. It's not Barkley. Is Barkley's thighs amazing? Yeah, absolutely. Does he do special things when he's on? Yes. But generational athlete talent, that's something different and special. And we as Giant fans open our stupid ass mouths on some of those things and blow things way out of proportion. The last one is Daniel Jones. And I understand there was going to be an excitement about anybody that came in after Eli, right? Because we spent we spent over 15 years watching one quarterback, one guy basically play that position. And some of you were thirsting like fucking vampires for some new blood there, which is another issue that I never got over as a Giants fan. But nevertheless, we let Daniel come in straight out of Duke, right? And we give him a stupid ass nickname that he didn't ask for. Danny Dimes? Let Danny die? Like, I mean, what stupid gym, tan, and laundry bullshit phrase is that? It's stupid. It's dumb. You don't hear fucking the Packer fans saying stupid ass shit about Aaron Rodgers. You don't hear that shit from fucking all these other damn fan bases. Like Joe Burrow is just fucking cool. Like it's his stick. But you don't see Bengal fans hyping up something else that they don't. It's naturally a thing. Yet Giant fans, we try to manifest. We try to get him to be something that he's simply not. We've done this thing. We've done it now with three fucking players. With three players in recent years, Giant fans have. And I'm supposed to, as a other Giant fan that's concerned, I'm supposed to say, "Oh, you're not going to do this with Thibodeau? Okay, you're not going to do it with him." And it's the idea of it is scary to me because at the end of the day, all I care about is watching the Giants win. That's all I fucking care about. That's all I want. I don't care if my players have some special ass nicknames or all this and that, or if they're generational talent. I don't give a shit who's playing for the Giants. I just want to see them win. And so I am nervous about what Giant fans are going to do to Kavion. I'm nervous for him. I just want him to be him and not have to hold some standard because some weird gym tan and laundry guys asked for that. Um, and here's the other issue with him, or here's the other issue with this current Giants team, and this is the last thing. This is the last thing that I'll say about this or this video. What made the Giants teams of 2007 and 2011 and 12, what made those teams so special, well, really that era. And by the way, Pizzle was on YouTube during that time making content, right? It wasn't cool to be on YouTube then making Giants content. It's cool now, but it wasn't cool then. This is the longest running reigning New York Giants channel all on YouTube. This is the number one. This is it. Everybody can be next, but they can't be fucking first. Period. What made those teams so great, or what I feel like took those teams over the top, was the fact that you take the team in Super Bowl 42 that beat the undefeated Patriots. They had leaders on that team. You know, we wanted Eli Manning to be vocal, but that wasn't who Eli was. That's just not who he is as a player. But we had Strahan. We had Strahan. Strahan was going to be that vocal leader that team desperately needed. A lot of people like to say, well, the defense won the championship, and they did play great. But the reality is that they had leaders like Antonio Pierce and Michael Strahan. They had legitimate guys that were true leaders. And even when you go back to, and then go to 2011, you had the Justin Tucks, right? The roles, Antrell Roll. You had guys that those were the leaders. Brandon Jacobs, that's a leader. These guys were leading men to battle. And one of the things that I feel like this current Giants team doesn't have, and at least we don't know who that is yet. And what I'm nervous about this team is the fact that we don't have those vocal leaders that we desperately need to lead this team. Daniel Jones ain't that guy. Saquon Barkley ain't that guy. Thibodeau has already told you in multiple interviews he's not that guy. He's not. I don't think Blake Martinez is that guy. I don't think Leonard Williams is that guy. You know, Kadarius Toney ain't that guy. I'm not saying these guys can't be great players, but there still needs to be a guy leading the charge. Maybe Xavier McKinney can be that guy. I don't know. But somebody has got to step up and be that guy. Somebody has got to grab this team by the fucking throat and lead them and be the Strahan. I'm not talking about Strahan's play, right? And yeah, a guy who's a vocal leader, he's got to be. Ray Lewis isn't Ray Lewis if Ray Lewis isn't good, right? But your play has to back it up. But we need one of these guys who's going to be a great player for this team to be a vocal leader and lead the charge. And that team, our team, this Giants team is fucking thirsting for that. You don't hear any content creators that's supporting the Giants say this kind of shit that I'm telling you right now. You can tell me about how great a guy was in college, how great his stats are. You can tell me how big you think Evan Neal is and how strong he is and this and that. But at the end of the day, this team is not going to go anywhere unless somebody steps up and is a vocal leader. Somebody's got to be the guy that gets in front of the media for Thibodeau, for Daniel Jones, and say, hey, we fucked up today. We'll get them next week. Or, hey, we played good today. We're on to the next game. And that is one thing that we're lacking. And I desperately hope that this new regime, Joe Shane and Dable, I hope they can find they can identify who that guy is, and that guy can be what we need him to be. And so a lot of people are like, yeah, I think Thibodeau's going to be this, and oh, he's Strahan's calling him. But at the end of the day, if you listen to interviews, Thibodeau's already told you he's just not that guy. And so, I mean, we'll see if somebody steps up. There's a whole summer to go before the games start, and there's time for that to transpire, and hopefully somebody ends up being that person. But look, I don't ever make videos this long. Uh, I, I've just been open and honest with you as best I can. And obviously, as you see in the back, nobody's doing it like fucking Pizzle. I mean, nobody is. It is what it is. So, anyways, lovers, haters, it don't fucking matter. People don't understand that Pizzle actually thirsts off the hate. I mean, it's like food for me. I just eat it up. Every time I get a little bit of hate, a little bit of, oh, you're stupid, your opinions suck, I just eat that shit up because I like that. I like that because it motivates me. I'm a kind of person that runs into the fucking fire. Absolutely. I don't run from it. There's three types of people in this world, and I'll leave you with this. There are three types of people. There are those that will run away from the fire. There are those that need more information before they decide about running in or running out of the fire. And then there are those that just run straight to the fire. Who are you? What person are you? I'll tell you who I am. I'm the one that runs right to the fucking fire. No questions asked. Love you guys.